Well, when they say that Zimbabwe has got most of the intelligent people or smart people or people that are learned, of course, we have dropped on literacy rate. There is someone that is on top of us now. But one cannot negate the fact that we still have some of the brilliant minds, even here in South Africa, that are working in key sectors of the economy. This is a gloating podcast, just gloating. But anyway, before we just continue gloating, I want us to take a listen to Associate Professor Evaristo Benyera. He was on SABC with Sakina Kamwendo, and he was giving an analysis of what is happening in Niger. And I'm also going to give my thoughts based on what he said and what I have also gathered. So let's just take a listen.
Biggest in France since the past 40 years, contributing immensely to the economy to a point where it is the third biggest sector of the economy in France, contributing about 6 billion euros. So Sakina, all I'm saying is that this is more than French soldiers going home. This is about the resources that have been underwriting the French economy finally being depleted, finally being withdrawn. And what we are going to see here is, I don't know, because right now China controls the battery production, and it's definitely uncharted water, Sakina. Throw in the issue of sentiment. There is a huge anti-Western sentiment. There is a huge pro-Russian sentiment. Is the former Cold War being extended to Africa? Is the Russia-Ukraine war being played out into Africa? Russia is then throwing in free grain there. Uncharted territory indeed, Sakina.
So as we wrap up the discussion, Professor Benyera, we had that ultimatum by the African Union. They gave the junta 15 days to reinstall the country's democratically elected government. But we know what the junta's stance has been on that. But how do you foresee this playing out?
That is a foregone conclusion, Sakina. Niger is not the Gambia. The Gambia is a geographically, militarily, and economically small country that they quickly encircled, and President Yahya Jammeh quickly surrendered. This is Niger. It has got one of the strongest armies in West Africa. It is the army of choice when it comes to the West, that it has been partnering in fighting those insurgencies in the Sahel region. So this is a well-equipped professional army, and I don't think ECOWAS will be willing to spill blood in this. They need to find another solution, which of course must involve France, which of course must involve Russia, and we are back to square one, Sakina.
And I think just to complicate matters further there seems to be rumblings, Professor Benyera, that the other countries that have seen coups, we spoke about Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea, they, I believe, from the rumblings, have kind of indicated that they may also want to support the junta in Niger if push comes to a shove. So that further complicates the matter.
This is why I asked the question, is there a liberatory coup? Is there something that we can call an emancipatory coup? Because now, you see, Niger is a very strategic country, not only for the West, but also for Africa, because it shares its borders with 8 other African countries: Nigeria, Benin, Burkina Faso, Algeria, Libya, Chad, and Mali. So whatever happens in Niger obviously affects these countries, and it's just complicated that the democratically elected president ended up being himself undemocratic, promising a lot of things and delivering none of those. And the military being, people said, what is the role of the military in the post-colony? Is it to protect the state, or it is to protect the nation, i.e. the people? And in this case, the answer of the military, not only in Niger, but in the majority of former French colonies, is to protect the people from the state. On the other hand, ECOWAS and the African Union are choosing the other route of protecting the state from the people. And now we are seeing almost a confrontation, and I think it is the people that are going to win, because every state draws its mandate from the people.
That is the interview. Anyway, I just wanted it to end there. So, looking at this now, this is what I've gathered, that number one, the fact that Nigeria, ECOWAS, they've issued a warning to Niger that they are going to interfere militarily. It's not going to work because of a number of things. Number one, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, the Senate has rejected for him to go into militarily. The second thing is that ECOWAS is not armed to the teeth to deal with Niger. And the number three problem that is also there is France cannot interfere again militarily because there is also the Wagner group that is also wagging its tails in the borders of Niger. And this is what is now happening. If you can see that the African nation or a continent has warmed up to Russia's stance on Ukraine, despite the fact that there is war in Ukraine, Africans have welcomed the Wagner group, which sometimes you then wonder, do we need the Wagner group, or are we allowing another form of colonialism? We are just taking, we are speaking in hypocrisy to say we have the West, which is France, that is in all the Francophone countries, and we then also have the US that has got 1,100 troops on the ground in Niger, and France has got 1,500 troops in Niger, and they control much of the currency of the Francophone countries. So you ask yourself, which one is the better devil? Is the better devil Russia, or is the better devil France? Obviously, to an ordinary African, he will say, I'll go with Russia because Russia has never colonized Africa. But the question is, if you allow the Wagner group to have its basis or to strengthen its forces in Africa or in African countries, or the disturbed African countries, like they have bases in Chad and in other places, are you not allowing these people? Are they going to just come and help you? Or what they are going to want in return, it is going also to make you to be out of favor with the same people? That is my question. How is Africa going to deal with that? So it's a catch-22 situation for everyone. It's a catch-22 situation for Nigeria, it's a catch-22 for the West African states, and it's a catch-22 for France. France cannot go there with force. Some European countries have withdrawn their troops inside because they understand that this is a war which might be coming from Ukraine, being extended and being played out in Africa. But I would love to hear your thoughts. You are Nigerian, you are Niger, or whatever nation you are from the West Africa. What is your thoughts? And what do you take with the assessment that was made by Associate Professor Evaristo Benyera on SABC about the state of the affairs? Because from his analysis, it seems like this military coup is not going anywhere. All the parties that are interested in this matter, their hands are tied. They cannot act the other way. They have to find a solution. Say that the military has to stay in power, and that's it. So what is your take about this war in Niger? Or what is your take about the France involvement in African states? Is it time for Africans to stand up and find an agreeing partner? Could be Russia, could be China, to chuck out colonialism once and for all in Africa. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next video.